Take a look at the selfie camera, perfectly serviceable. Color reproduction's pretty decent. Really no complaints. 10.5 megapixels, so it's not the most robust hardware-wise, but the software is where it's at with the AI, although it does do what pixels often do with a lot of sharpening, but it's a completely serviceable selfie. One thing that I absolutely do appreciate is that the selfie camera has a wider angle function, and so you can get fairly wide angle shots and the quality remains good, colors remain good as well, and so I actually do appreciate that. Here we have a stunning picture from the 50 megapixel wide angle camera on the rear. This is going to be the main camera that will do the lion's share of photography on this phone, and it is a wonderful upgrade for the Pixel 9, and it delivers consistently good photography, good color reproduction. The auto processing does tend to sharpen things up a bit, so that's just something that may or may not be to your liking when it comes to pixel photography in general, but it is certainly a great quality camera nonetheless. Here we have another great photo of landscape using the 50 megapixel main camera. Good quality, good HDR with challenging lighting conditions. Again, you're going to get a great standard photograph with this main camera. So here we have that same landscape at 2 power zoom, and you can see that this at 2 power still produces a great photograph with good HDR, good colors, just overall very satisfying photograph in 2 power zoom. As we're about to see, however, the zoom does tend to fall off quite a bit after 2 power, however. As I understand, this camera does pixel binning, and it kind of punches in on the middle part of the sensor. So it's a 50 megapixel sensor, but then it punches in on the middle part of the sensor in order to give you that zoom. So you do sacrifice a little bit of quality, but at the end of the day, it's still a great picture, but it does tend to fall off quite substantially after the 2 power zoom. So here we have a pretty nice photograph of the twin sisters peaks at 4 power zoom, and you can see off in the distance in the background at the twin sisters peaks, you are kind of getting some loss of clarity, and the processing is attempting to kind of fill in the gaps a little bit, but it is fairly blurry and you're losing quite a bit of detail. So now we're kind of coming up onto the limitations of the ability to compensate digitally for that zoom. Here we have that same view of twin sisters at 8 power zoom, and you can see it's not a terrible photograph, but you've lost a substantial amount of detail in the peaks, and it's pretty blurry, and it is a marginally serviceable photograph. I think you could probably do some editing, and certainly if you had a different phone, say a Pixel 9 Pro or Pro XL, you might be able to use other lenses, but clearly you're coming up onto the limitations of this 50 megapixel lens and its ability to produce a good digitally zoomed in image. It's still marginally serviceable, but I think if you want lots of zoomed in detail, there are going to be some substantial limitations with the camera system on the base Pixel 9. One area that has substantially improved from last year on the Pixel 9 is its ability to take stunning panoramic photography. Just look at this image. The color reproduction is amazing. The HDR looks great. High quality, high clarity. This is just a stunning panoramic image, and I think Google has substantially improved. Things get even better, arguably, when looking at low light photography. Here is a low light panorama from my backyard just following the breakup of a monsoon storm and sundown. And you can just see amazing detail in the sky. The lighting, while enhanced, does not look artificial. This is a very naturalistic looking photograph, but it just gives you an amazing sense of color and scale. And I feel that this is a very high quality night panoramic photograph that is incredible and really does set the camera apart from its contemporaries. Here's an example of just a standard low light photograph. You can see there is a fairly naturalistic appearing image. It doesn't look overly brightened. You even have some nice color detail. This is full on night. This is actually about 3-4 in the morning, and you can even see some nice stars, a few stars in the cloud, in the sky of some clouds. You can see the shadow, some shadows on the street where a car door open is casting some light. So you're just getting some really good details here, and this again really does produce solid night photographs. Let's look at some examples of astrophotography. Here's a beautiful picture of the moon behind some clouds. I think that the camera is producing a wonderful photograph that has a very naturalistic feel to it that doesn't appear to be overly processed. So this is a native picture, unlike the prior night picture, which was zoomed in a bit on the sky. This is zoomed out, and it's just, what a great picture. This really does good astrophotography. You can see the moon and kind of the halo that's being produced, and the light is being kind of scattered and spread out a bit behind the clouds. You can see the clouds, and you can even see stars, the star field in the areas of thinner clouds. Again, this just produces a wonderful night photograph. With the addition of the high quality ultra-wide camera system sporting a new 48 megapixel sensor, this new camera system can produce amazing macro photography as well. You can see some great macro shots here, good clarity, good focus, good detail, good color reproduction, very vibrant, and incredible macro photography. And just appreciating the new addition of the 48 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, you can see that it takes great quality ultra-wide photographs here. You can see great color, great HDR, ample amounts of detail, really good, usable ultra-wide photographs that I would say are as good, if not better, than many of the ultra-wide offerings on the contemporary smartphone camera systems. And you have this in the baseline Pixel 9 at your fingertips. So overall, a system that is very functional and shines in a variety of conditions. This is one of the more interesting offerings in the Pixel 9 lineup as far as what the camera system can do, and this is the so-called AdMe feature. So this is a picture of some mountain bike buddies of mine sitting in the husk of an old 1930s Chevy out in the backcountry, and you can see I've taken a picture of them, and then what's going to happen is one of them, they're going to leave the car, one of them is going to take my place, I'm going to hand the camera over to them, and then I am going to get into the vehicle, or onto the vehicle rather, and then they are going to take a photograph of me, and then the system will merge the photographs together to produce a picture of me alongside my riding buddies. So here's the picture of me standing on the back of the vehicle, holding on for dear life. And you can see nobody's in the vehicle, and then the camera system, or rather the computational prowess that runs the camera system, is going to merge these two photographs into a new hybrid photograph that will have everybody in the picture. And here we have the finished product. The two photographs have been merged into a nearly seamless picture that looks like all of us were in it at the same time. One of my riding buddies liked this photograph so much, he sent me a message and asked me to send him the high quality email file of the picture, as opposed to the lower quality text message or MMS messages that you get on some phones. And he is intending to print this off and put it into his personal photo albums. He just enjoyed this photograph so much. And so this actually produced a wonderful memory, and this has become one of the biggest hits as far as I'm concerned. I do a lot of hiking and biking by myself, and with other people, with my wife, and this gives us the opportunity to create photographs that we wouldn't normally be able to create. And I really think it is a very interesting and a very novel opportunity to produce pictures that might not be able to be produced. And it's just a great thing.